Hey guys, what's up? We all have our favorite brands, right? The ones we trust, the ones we spend all our money on. But what if I told you those brands, the ones we think we know, are hiding something? What if behind those shiny logos and catchy slogans, there's a whole other side, a dark side? From exploiting workers to destroying the environment, some of the biggest names in the world might not be as innocent as they seem. We're going deep down the rabbit hole, guys, exposing the truth they don't want you to see. Get ready to have your mind blown because, in this video, we're diving headfirst into the dark secrets your favorite brands don't want you to know. First up, we're talking about Nestlé. You know, the company behind your favorite chocolate bars, your morning coffee, your baby formula. Yeah, well, get ready to be disgusted. Nestlé is the world's largest food and beverage company, raking in billions every year. But behind those profits is a disturbing truth. They've been accused of literally stealing water, guys. Like straight up taking it from drought-stricken communities and selling it back to us at a ridiculous markup. I'm talking about places like California and Michigan where people are struggling to get access to clean water. Nestle swoops in, drains their aquifers, bottles it up, and sells it for a huge profit. It's messed up, right? And it's not just the water. Remember that whole baby formula scandal a few years back? Yeah, that was Nestle too. They were accused of aggressively marketing their formula to mothers in developing countries, convincing them it was better than breastfeeding. This led to so many babies becoming malnourished because their mothers couldn't afford the formula or didn't have access to clean water to prepare it. They put profits over people's lives, guys. It's sickening. And the worst part, they've been accused of this stuff for years, but they just keep getting away with it. They issue apologies, make promises they don't keep, and then go right back to their shady practices. It's like they think they're untouchable. But you know what? We're onto them. We see through their lies, and we're not going to stay silent while they exploit people and the planet for profit. So next time you reach for that Kit Kat or Nespresso pod, just remember what you're supporting. Remember the communities struggling for water. Remember the babies who are suffering. Ask yourself, is it really worth it? Alright guys, let's talk about Nike, the brand that tells you to just do it. The brand of Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, and countless other athletes. They make it look so glamorous, so inspiring, right? But behind those iconic shoes and sleek sportswear lies a dark secret: sweatshops. We've all heard the rumors, seen the documentaries, but it's easy to forget when you're caught up in the hype of a new release. Nike has been accused for years of using sweatshop labor in countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and China. These are places where labor laws are lax and workers are desperate. Desperate enough to endure horrific conditions for just a few dollars a day. We're talking about factories where workers are crammed into tiny spaces, forced to work long hours without breaks, and exposed to dangerous chemicals. They're treated like machines, not human beings. And the worst part? Many of these workers are children, some as young as 10 years old. They're robbed of their childhoods, forced to work in these awful conditions so we can have cheap shoes and clothes. It's sickening. Now, Nike will tell you they've made changes, that they're committed to ethical sourcing and fair labor practices. They'll throw around words like sustainability and transparency. But let's be real, guys, these are just PR moves to protect their image. They know they've been caught, and they're trying to do damage control. But the truth is, the exploitation continues. As long as there's demand for their products, as long as we keep buying into the hype, they have no incentive to change. So the next time you see that swoosh, don't just see the brand, see the faces of the workers who made your shoes, see the children who are being robbed of their futures. Ask yourself, is it worth it? Is looking cool worth the exploitation of another human being? Because I'm telling you, it's not. Next up, let's talk about Apple, the tech giant, the innovator, the company that can seemingly do no wrong. They've got us all hooked on their iPhones, their MacBooks, their sleek and shiny gadgets. But what's the real cost of that technology? Where are these devices actually being made? Well, a lot of them are being made in factories run by a company called Foxconn, and let me tell you, the conditions in those factories are downright horrifying. We're talking about workers being forced to work 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week for little pay. They're treated like robots, expected to meet impossible quotas, and punished if they don't keep up. There have been reports of workers being verbally and physically abused, of being denied bathroom breaks, of being forced to stand for hours on end. It's inhumane. And the saddest part, these conditions got so bad that Foxconn actually had to install suicide nets around their buildings to prevent workers from jumping to their deaths. Think about that for a second. The conditions were so unbearable, the workers felt so hopeless, that they were willing to end their own lives. And for what? So we can have the latest iPhone so we can scroll through Instagram a little faster? It's sickening. Now, Apple will tell you they're working to improve conditions in their supply chain. They'll release reports about their supplier responsibility programs, but the truth is, these problems persist. They're still profiting off the backs of these workers, still turning a blind eye to their suffering. And it's not just the labor practices. Apple has also been criticized for their environmental impact. They design their products with planned obsolescence, meaning they become slow and outdated quickly, forcing you to upgrade. This creates a massive amount of electronic waste which often ends up in landfills in developing countries, polluting the environment and harming communities. So the next time you're thinking about buying the latest Apple product, ask yourself, at what cost? Is it worth supporting a company that treats its workers like this? A company that puts profits over people and the planet? The choice is yours. Alright, let's be real. We all knew McDonald's was going to be on this list. The Golden Arches, the Big Macs, the Chicken McNuggets. It's the epitome of fast food, and we all know fast food isn't exactly good for you. But what if I told you the truth about McDonald's goes way deeper than just unhealthy food? What if I told you they've been engaged in some seriously shady practices for decades? Let's start with their marketing tactics. McDonald's has perfected the art of targeting children. They use bright colors, catchy jingles, and happy meals to lure kids in and create lifelong customers. They know that if they can get you hooked on their food young, you're more likely to keep coming back for more. And it's working. Childhood obesity rates have skyrocketed in recent decades, and McDonald's is a major contributor to that. They're literally making our kids sick for profit. And speaking of sick, remember that whole pink slime scandal a few years back? Yeah, that was McDonald's too. They were exposed for using something called lean, finely textured beef in their burgers, which is basically a mixture of leftover beef scraps that are treated with ammonia to kill bacteria. It's disgusting, and it's just one example of the lengths they'll go to cut costs and maximize profits. But it's not just the food itself that's the problem. McDonald's has a massive environmental impact. They're one of the largest purchasers of beef in the world, and the beef industry is a major contributor to deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions, and water pollution. So every time you bite into a Big Mac, you're not just harming your health, you're also contributing to the destruction of our planet. Look, I get it, McDonald's is cheap and convenient, but at what cost? Is it worth sacrificing our health, our children's health, and the health of our planet for a quick and easy meal? I don't think so. Alright guys, last but certainly not least, let's talk about Amazon. The everything store, the king of e-commerce, the company that's taken over the world, one convenient delivery at a time. We love Amazon, right? I mean, who doesn't love getting everything they could ever want delivered right to their doorstep with just a few clicks? But what's the real cost of that convenience? What are we sacrificing for those fast deliveries and low prices? Well, for starters, we're sacrificing the well-being of Amazon's workers. There have been countless reports of grueling working conditions in Amazon warehouses. We're talking about workers being forced to meet impossible quotas, to the point where they don't even have time to take bathroom breaks. There have been reports of workers peeing in bottles, of suffering heat exhaustion, of being denied basic rights, and it's not just the warehouse workers. Delivery drivers are also being exploited, forced to work long hours, make unsafe deliveries, and deal with unrealistic expectations. They're treated like cogs in a machine, expendable and replaceable. Amazon's pursuit of efficiency and profit has come at a huge human cost, but it's not just the workers. Amazon's environmental impact is also a major concern. They generate a massive amount of waste with their packaging and shipping practices. And because they prioritize speed and low prices, they often choose the most environmentally damaging options. Then there's the issue of counterfeit goods. Amazon has been flooded with fake products, from electronics to cosmetics to clothing. These counterfeits often contain dangerous ingredients or are made with substandard materials, putting consumers at risk. And let's not forget about the small businesses that Amazon has driven out of business. Their dominance in the e-commerce market has made it nearly impossible for small retailers to compete, leading to job losses and economic hardship. So yeah, Amazon is convenient, but is it worth it? Is it worth supporting a company that treats its workers like slaves? A company that's destroying our planet? A company that's undermining fair competition and putting consumers at risk? I'll let you be the judge of that. Wow guys, we've covered a lot of ground today. From Nestlé's water stealing practices to Nike's sweatshops, to Apple's worker suicides, to McDonald's unhealthy marketing tactics, to Amazon's exploitative labor practices, we've exposed the dark underbelly of some of the biggest brands in the world. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, to buy into the marketing, to ignore the truth when it's uncomfortable. But we can't stay silent anymore. We have to start holding these companies accountable for their actions. We have to start voting with our wallets and supporting brands that align with our values. Because the truth is, every time we buy a product, we're casting a vote. We're either supporting a company that's exploiting its workers, destroying the environment, and prioritizing profit over people, or we're supporting a company that's trying to do better. The choice is ours. So what are you going to choose? These are just a few of the dark secrets lurking behind the world's most trusted brands. So the next time you grab a drink, buy a new phone, or order online, think twice about what you're really supporting. If you think more people need to know about these hidden truths, hit that like button, share this video and subscribe for more eye-opening content. Stay informed, stay curious. See you in the next one.